public hearing for Ms. Carla N. Camacho to serve as member of the Marianas Public Land Trust to represent the 3rd Senatorial District. I, on behalf, I apologize for the non-present of our chairman, Mr. Senator Francisco Cruz, due to attending uh, medical referral for his wife. And as the vice chairman of this committee, I'm hereby know with other members to conduct and make this official public hearing presented today to all of us here and the listening public. Okay. Okay, this public hearing for Carla N. Camacho to serve as a member of the Marianas Public Land Trust to represent the 3rd Senatorial District. And I wish to greet every one of you good morning. And on behalf of the members of the Standing Committee on Executive Appointment and Government Investigation, I would like to welcome the Governor Ralph Delangero Torres and or his representative, Mr. Richard Baleares. Is that correct? The appointee, Carla N. Camacho, and other elected officials, dignitaries of the general public. And before we proceed forward with this public hearing, let me introduce the members of the Standing Committee on Executive Appointment and Government Investigation. And I would like also to announce a couple of things. Informatively in the interest for informational purposes and some house rules regarding the code of conduct during this public hearing. But before I continue, I'd like to introduce the members on the Executive Committee, Appointment and Government Investigation Committee. To my right is Senator Floor Leader Vinny Sablan. And to further right is Senator Carl Neighbors from the second senatorial representing Tinian, and on my left is Senator Vice President of the Senate, Senator J.Q. Kirua, representing the 3rd Senatorial, as well as the floor leader representing the 3rd Senatorial District. And I am Senator Victor Holcook, representing the 1st Senatorial District. Today, the members of the Standing Committee of EAGI conducting a public hearing on the appointment of Carla N. Camacho to serve as member of the Marianas Public Land Trust. And the public will be invited to make comments as to whether you support or oppose the appointment of the subject appointee who is before us this morning. We value your input. However, any comments beyond the facts of the appointee or comments that are not directly related to this public hearing will not be entertained. At the same time, please observe minimal noises disrupting the hearing process, and please turn your electronic to silent or by remote. Thank you. And let us now begin. And this public hearing is now in session. Today is August 2nd at 10:05 a.m. this morning in the Senate Chamber, Capitol Hill, Saipan. And this public hearing regarding the appointment of Carla and Camacho by Governor Ralph De Leon Torres to serve as a member of the Marianas Public Land Trust pursuant to Article 11, Section 6 of the Constitution of the Northern Mariana Island, as amended by Constitutional Amendment Number 33. Devin Macaronis will be our clerk. Ben Talai will be our sergeant at arms, and Antoinette Belagomez will be our legal counsel and will serve accordingly to this public hearing. And Senate Clerk, can you call the roll?
Senator Francisco Q. Cruz, Senator Victor B. Hokuk,
Here.
Senator Carl R. King Neighbors,
Here.
Senator Justo S. Kitagua, Senator Vinny F. Sablon.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, 4 members are present, 1 member is absent.
Okay, with 4 members present, 1 member absent, excuse absent, Senator Cruz, we do constitute the necessary quorum to conduct today's order of business. The agenda was moved and seconded, and discussion, if there is none, then I would,
Mr. Chairman, short recess?
Before I entertain a short recess, I would like to first adopt the agenda for today. And those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Motion to adopt today's agenda?
Second.
Okay. Those opposed, say nay. Motion carried. So at this time, you want short recess? Okay. At this time, I would like to Sergeant Arm to escort the governor's representative and the appointee. Okay. Now, I would like to acknowledge and recognize Governor Ralph De Leon Torres, his representative, and the appointee, Ms. Carla N. Camacho. And may I now recognize the governor's representative? And before you do that, please state your name for the record.
Buenas, half a day. Good morning, Senator Hokuk and the honorable members of this committee. For the record, my name is Richard Baliaris, representative for the Office of the Governor. On behalf of Governor Ralph D.L.G. Torres, I thank you for the opportunity to come and testify before you today. I am here to introduce the Governor's nominee for the Marianas Public Land Trust, Ms. Carla N. Camacho. Ms. Camacho is a respected professional serving as an administrative assistant and secretary for the Saipan Stevedore Company from 2003 to 2008, and secretary, interim legal assistant, and benefit analyst at the Northern Mariana Islands Retirement Fund from 2009 to 2014. Ms. Camacho has a Bachelor of Science in Business from the University of Phoenix, an associate in applied science and business administration with a computer application emphasis, and an associate in applied science with an office technology emphasis from the Northern Marianas College, and was a member of the Beta Lambda Psi chapter of the Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society in 2006. Governor Torres places his full trust and confidence in Ms. Camacho to serve in the Marianas Public Land Trust. I know she stands ready to answer your questions and present her plans for the future. Her long history of professional experience, credentials, and commitment to serving the Commonwealth in this capacity makes her a viable candidate, and we kindly ask for your expeditious approval. Thank you, Jesus Maasi Zangiliso, for the opportunity to introduce her to this august body. Thank you again.
Thank you, Richard. May I ask the clerk to swear in the appointee?
Miss Carla Nag Camacho, you do solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you shall give in the matter at hand shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
Ms. Camacho, I know that you have submitted all documentation and meet the requirement to be heard today. So if there's any additional comments that you want to, a statement that you want to make before the committee, you may do so. And please, again, state your name for the record.
Hafa Zantirawami, to all who are present here today. My name is Carla Naokomatsu. First off, I would like to thank Honorable Governor Ralph DeLongaro Torres for his confidence in nominating me to serve on the MPLT board, and to the staff who worked tirelessly to ensure that I submitted the required documents in order to have this hearing today. I would also like to take this time to thank everyone who are here in support of my nomination. I would be remiss if I didn't personally thank Senator Vinnie for allowing me to take on this added responsibility. I am deeply honored to be sitting here today as a board nominee, more so for MPLT. I am no stranger to the functions of a board, as I have served as a board assistant for several years under the NMI Retirement Fund, all while furthering my education in business. What I will admit to being a stranger to is the in-depth functions of MPLT. I have done my share of research, most of which provided information on how MPLT was established and the roles of the trustees and consultants, all of which are similar to the retirement fund. So I am confident that I am ready to get started, should this August body so decide to give me that opportunity. I am eager to start making crucial decisions that will protect MPLT's interest. Rest assured that if confirmed, I will uphold my fiduciary duty to the best of my ability and ensure that I represent the Indigenous people, particularly the Refaloas and Refanoar community. In confirming me to serve on this board, you are paving the way for the people of the CNMI, as I will assure you that I will do whatever it takes to make reasonable, careful, and prudent investments as stated in the Constitution. I therefore ask for your affirmation and for your full trust in me to serve as a member of this board. Sinwas, Jesus Masi Zangiliso.
Thank you, Ms. Camacho. And before I allow the general public to provide testimony, I would like to call on witnesses first to provide any comments or testimony on behalf of the appointee, whether they support or do not support the nominee. And number one in our list is the Honorable David Hapateng. Is there any members from the Office of the Mayor? None. The Honorable Vicente Santos. Anyone from the Mayor's office? From the Saipan Municipal Council, anyone? Okay, let the record shows that there's no one, again, from the Municipal Council. Administrator from the Marinas Public Land Trust, anyone? Before you start, sir, can you just please state your name for the record?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Martin B. Adda. I'm from the Marianas Public Land Trust. I'm a trustee at present. Um, and I would like to apologize for the absence of our chairwoman, Frika Maria Tudela Pangilinan today. However, I'm here to testify as a trustee in support of Carla Nao Camacho. Mr. President and August members of this standing committee, after glancing through through Ms. Camacho's resume and background and her testimony, this is the first time we've had a nominee that actually has more than met the requirements to serve as a trustee for MPLT. Just 2 minutes of reading her background assures me that Ms. Camacho has all the energy and the enthusiasm to represent the Carolina community as a board member for MPLT. So, with that said, Mr. Chairman, we at MPLT fully support Ms. Camacho's nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ana. Any other from the Marianas Public Land Trust would like to comment? And sir, please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of this committee, Chairman Hokuk, Senator Neighbors, Senator Sumdan, Senator Kiriwa. I'm honored to be here this morning before you in support of Ms. Camacho's nomination as a board of trustee of the Marianas Public Land Trust. Her resume speaks for itself. It has an abundance of knowledge. At one point in time, she was a board assistant for retirement fund. I was a board of trustee for the retirement fund back in 95 to 99. And our board assistant is well exposed to our investment making decision. And I'm sure she's have abundance of knowledge of that as being a board assistant. And that's a great asset, an addition to MPLT board of trustee. And I hope that this committee confirm her to be a sitting board of trustee of the MPLT. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Any other member from MPLT office? If none, then I would like to now open public comments. If there's anyone from the gallery that would like to provide public comments on behalf of the nominee, whether you're in support or not in support, you may do so at this time. Anyone? If no one, once we close public comment, we will not go back to entertain any more public comment. So this is your first and last chance to take that opportunity. Thank you. Again, just a reminder, please state your name for the record. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lucia Norita Schilling. I'm here actually to support and thank you all for the vote of confidence, and I hope you all agree on voting Carla. I've raised up Carla. Carla is my niece. Okay, my brother's daughter, and she's more like a daughter to me. Carla speaks fluent tomorrow, Carolinian, and the Chukis, really well. She's actually inherited some of our knowledge of speaking different languages, because most of my families actually speak about to 7 languages. To those of you that know Carla, you all know that Carla works hard, and you will not make a mistake of nominating and voting her for the place of MPLA or MPLT. I'm here asking for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. For the last time again, I'm going to ask if is there anyone again from the public that wants to make public comments? Okay, if none, I would now like to recognize the members of the standing committee to either make comments or statement or raise questions to the nominee. At this time, I would like to open the floor for the committee members to make any questions or statement. Recognize Senator Go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Um, Thank you, Mrs. Camacho, for being here today. Also for accepting the nomination and the added responsibilities that come with it. In my 2 years almost of working around you, reading your resume, as was earlier said, it's very clear that you're very capable of taking on the added responsibilities, as well as you have an aptitude to have a broad range of educational endeavors. So you don't only stick to one field, which is very interesting, and I appreciate personally. I don't have a question, more so a request. I know as a member of the team in leadership, we continually find issues finding sources of funding for infrastructure development. One of the highest priorities is providing our qualified homesteaders with basic infrastructures that they need: water, power. And what in some of the dialogues with our constituents on Tinian, their proposal is one possible solution is to mandate or change the policies to mandate MPLT to amend its investment policies to include direct investment into infrastructure that directly benefit our homesteaders. So I guess my only question would be, what are your thoughts on this proposed solution to this issue that we have?
Okay, being that this question is regarding providing utility services to homesteaders, I would think that CUC should be prepared to have an installation process for this, only because it generates funds for them, right? So, but however, should this be mandated on MPLT, then I feel that with every process of legislation, MPLT would be given the opportunity to dissect the legislation and provide comments when it is introduced.
Thank you again, and thank you for everybody for being here today. I appreciate your time and presence. I yield back to Shem.
Thank you, Senator. Neighbors, recognize Senator Kirua if you have any.
This is Masi, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, Mrs. Kamatsu. And for the attendees in the gallery, I have no question for you. Usually I do not pose questions to first-time nominees. However, I would like to make some comments. I am really happy when you read your statements on how comfortable you are to serve under MPOT, and that's for me. That's one of the most important attributes for a nominee is the comfort and willingness to serve. This is an important institution because it deals with money, investments, and these are the investments from our land leases, public land leases. And this is not only invest the public land leases for the benefit of the CNMI descent, but also for the general public. Interest earned from MPOT by constitutional requirement, it goes to the legislature for appropriation. And in the past, whenever the government is in critical need of financing, they come to MPOT, and usually the legislature authorizes the trustees to accord the government with its needs. For example, the stipulated orders under COC, the money that provided the stipulated orders, some of it are coming from MPOT, and that does not only benefit the CNMI descent, but the general public entirely. And also during after the super typhoon Yutu, the government was in need of financial assistance, so the government turned to MPOT for some financial assistance, and that again is an example of not only benefiting the CNMI descent, but the entire community in the CNMI. And this is just a few highlights of how MPOT funds assist the general community from the investment of public land leases. So with that, I trust that with your education and your work experiences, and as you stated earlier, your comfort in serving at MPOT gives me real confidence that the governor nominated an individual that will serve in the best interest of the public. That will ensure that the land leases funds are invested accordingly. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I yield my time back. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Kirwa. Let me now recognize the floor leader of the Senate from the 3rd Senatorial District, Senator Vini. If you have any statement to make or question, you may do so at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I wasn't going to ask any questions, but I wanted to make a statement before we close. But good morning to all who are present here today. Thank you for being here. Also, good morning to all who are viewing on our media outlets, on Facebook and YouTube, as well as our cable TV. Also like to have a special welcome to the current Board of Trustees, Trustee Adda, and I know Trustee Cruz was here. We have some family members of that are present here in the gallery, and some friends as well. Good morning, Mrs. Camacho. I knew one day I would call you that. As you all may know, Carla has has served as my chief of staff since my first term in the House, and has continued on, and of course still serves as my chief of staff in the People's Office of the Senate for the 3rd Senatorial District. So I had mixed emotions when her nomination came up, anticipating that her load would grow and there would be more responsibilities on her plate, in addition to all the responsibilities she has in operating and leading our Senate office. In addition to everything that has been stated and written in her resume, I've seen Mrs. Camacho grow professionally from her experiences in the private sector, as well as her experience as the board assistant for the retirement fund. After her experiences there in her previous workplaces, she is now in her 8th year serving as a chief of staff of the Senate office, or the legislative member office. And as you all may know, the responsibilities and duties of the offices here come in great lengths. Being a member of this body, I have to make very crucial decisions and very serious decisions. And if there's one person that I ask for advice first, or what she thinks or her thoughts are on certain issues, it's Carla. And she, with her research skills, she and just being self-directed, as if she hears that I'm deliberating on certain issues or writing on certain issues, she takes the time to really research and share some knowledge with me, or share some findings with me. So I have no she will be a great asset to the board of trustees. She can make those crucial decisions. She does know the issues. She's been in the forefront of many of these issues that are before our Commonwealth and before our people. So she's no stranger to a lot of the issues that we have that faces our society. Not only that she recognizes a lot of the issues, she's very she can find those solutions, right, and bring up ideas to ensure that the board of trustees make great decisions for our Commonwealth. So I just wanted to share my experience working with Mrs. Camacho and seeing her grow professionally, and I know that she will be a great asset, not only to the board of trustees, but a great asset to the entire Commonwealth and its people, representing the Faluesh community. So with that said, Mr. Vice Chairman, I yield my time back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Florier. So I guess I'm the last one to ask I ask myself whether I'm going to ask you a question or I make a statement. But anyway, Car, we've known each other here ever since you're here in the legislature, and I've witnessed how you work. But I will be remiss not to ask myself or to ask you. Can you just share one mission or one vision that you accept the most? Can you share with us one mission or one vision why you accepted to become or to accept to become a board of trustee of MPLT? Only one.
Okay, so I know that there's funds there, right? So um, what I want to start looking into is to see how we want to use portions of these monies, and when we want to use portions of these monies to improve the infrastructures in the CNMI. And when we want to use portions of these money for the NMI descent. And also want to see how much has been borrowed and what the balances are. And to ensure that any legislation towards lending, borrowing money from MPLT, that we include the assurance that the amount borrowed will be paid back.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad that you have accepted this nomination, and you know that you'll be dealing with a seasoned members of MPLT Board of Trustees, right? The MPLT have a very capable, fast, uh, knowledgeable individual that probably you can work with to prepare yourself for your first meeting on the Board of Trustees. And I know Ms. Bobby Regis has been in the Board of Trustees for the longest time, and she is very knowledgeable as to providing also input and uh, planning ahead for the MPLT Board of Trustees to look into. But one of my real concern here, DPL has been collecting funds from land lease and all this. And there are times that DPL would like to use some of these funds before they remit to MPLT. And DPL knew that it's got to be sent those funds after having their operational costs figured out, that all funds must be turned into MPLT. When confirmed, there are programs with DPL that needs to be funded, like homestead infrastructure development. And I would ask you to look into the other members and see how we can assist DPL in meeting those funding to ensure that our new homesteader will receive the benefit of DPO being, providing them homestead without a infrastructure services. And I think that's one of the responsibility of DPL prior to providing homestead or giving out homestead lot to provide infrastructure development to its homesteaders applicants. So, but again, this all depends with the Board of Trustees if they can work alongside and see how can that program be reached with the counterpart to ensure that homesteaders will continue to develop their homestead without DPL giving them a Diojan letter for eviction or revocation of their homestead because of non-development for their lodging. But there must be some ways that the legislature can look into that, provided that DPL and MPOT really sit down and work a solution to ensure that these programs, can be fulfilled by using additional funds from the lease of public land. I know that they are the gatekeeper of all public land lease after meeting their administrative costs. So, but beyond that, I like the Board of Trustees along to seriously work with DPL how we can attend this support and move the program forward for our new homesteaders applicant so that they can start, their own develop their own place to move forward with their life and their families. And I am very confident, Carl, that when the Senate act on your nomination, you will be guided accordingly with those seasoned Board of Trustees to get you moving forward as a new generation to protect and defend the NMD trust account. And I'm glad that you've mentioned to also look into all accounts or revenue supposedly is going to the general fund. And that can only happen if you already know how much our government borrowed funding from MPLT and using the earned interest as a repayment ability before any additional loan, is requested again by government if needed. But if that comes along the way, I want you to look that when the government asks for an assistance, the government is asking to provide those funding to serve the people, the government that's serving. So, I like each and every one of you to be mindful and be sensitive in moving, our programs forward. And I am very confident that with your knowledge and vision, you'll be able also to work along with your counterparts and definitely your colleagues in Board of Trustees. So with that, I wish you good luck, and I hope that the Senate will act your confirmation before the deadline expires. So with that, I would like to ask again any members that would like to make additional statement or question? If none, Secretary, I'd like to acknowledge any written and oral comments presented today's hearing.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Senate EAJ Committee, Ms. Camacho, and members of the general public, in addition to the oral testimonies received today on the executive appointment of Carla N. Camacho to serve as a member on the Marianas Public Land Trust, please be advised of two additional written testimonies officially received in support of the appointee from Wakena B. Ogun, personal testimony, and Shiana H. Pangilinan, personal testimony. At this time, no written testimony in opposition to the appointment of the appointee has been received by the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Clerk. This time, all public comments are well taken. Let the record reflect that there are also written testimonies submitted from individuals to support the appointee before the committee and will be included in the Senate Standing Committee recommendation report along with the oral testimonies to be forwarded before the full Senate members for in consideration for the confirmation or rejection. At this time, before we adjourn, I would like to extend on behalf of all the members of the Standing Committee a sincere appreciation and gratitude to Governor Rob De Leon Torres and Governor's representative and staff and the appointee Carla N. Komatsu, and most especially the members of the general public for your participation and involvement uh, during this important public hearing process. And we certainly hope that we continue to dialogue the communication between us, the elected officials, and the public to keep you abreast and informed of our current and future Senate hearing ahead and relates to the public best interest. This conclude this public hearing for today. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman, I offer a motion to.
Recognize Mr. Senator Nevers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to offer a motion to adjourn today's EAGI public hearing, subject to the call of the chair. So move.
There's a motion to adjourn this public hearing and has been seconded. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. This public hearing is officially adjourned at this time. Thank you again for your participation, everyone. Good day.